Titles in Africa. Yes, my Africans are crazy about titles these days. So crazy that sometimes it's a problem. Titles without merit. Unlike in the old days, the good old days, titles are bought and sold in Africa these days. There are titles that I refuse to ever use when I'm in Nigeria. Why? Because they do not merit those titles. Well, hello there. It's Harry again with my series on commonly misused words, phrases, terms, tenses, and idioms or idiomatic expressions. Today, I'm going to bring you number 5 of my commonly misused phrases, and I'm talking about the title His Excellency versus Your Excellency. Which one is used and when? But before that, I'm going to give you a preamble concerning or about titles in Africa. Yes, my Africans are crazy about titles these days. So crazy that sometimes it's a problem. Especially the problem of titles without merit. Unlike in the old days, the good old days, where in the African setting, before you get any title, especially the traditional or cultural titles, 2 things are definitely required of you before you can get them. Number 1 is integrity. Okay? Do you have integrity? They didn't give titles to just anybody. No sir, no ma'am. You had to have the integrity to be given that title. Number 2 is, do you have the merit? Is this something that you can handle? Is this something that is in your capacity to do, to give you that title? These days again, no sir, no ma'am. Titles are bought and sold in Africa these days, especially my Nigerian country in West Africa. Yes sir, yes ma'am. I'm going to tell you a story of an experience of mine that happened to me, about titles in Africa, in Nigeria. Once upon a trip to Nigeria, my country, I had a deal. I got into a deal with some guys, and we were talking about some good deal, mind you. And then I had to make a call to some guy, one of the guys involved. Okay? And we had a wonderful talk, actually. The discussion was great. Everything was fine. And to me, I believe that he was happy with the discussion. But guess what? We dropped the phone. 2 minutes, a few minutes later, his friend called me. Somebody who was also part of the deal called me. Say, Harry, why did you do that? I said, excuse me, what did I do? What? He said, why did you disrespect the comrade? I say, excuse me, what comrade are you talking about? He said, the guy you just looked. I said, oh, okay. I said, Mr. X. I don't want to give his name. Okay. I said, oh, Mr. X. He said, yeah. Don't you know you're supposed to call him comrade? I said, whoa, excuse me. I'm sorry. I didn't know. I heard 2 of you call each other comrade. And by my definition of the word comrade, I figured you call each other comrade because you are in a society together, or you believe in some kind of association. That's how I know comrade is supposed to be. A comrade for me is somebody that you belong to a group. Okay, so I didn't know I was supposed to call him comrade. He said, well, you should have called him. I said, look, what is so big deal about that? Okay, what are we going to do? He said, well, I don't know about that now. Okay, to cut the story short, Let me tell you how serious they are about this thing. Just for the fact that I didn't say comrade, this guy cancelled the deal. To him, I disrespected him. Another point there is the fact that they buy titles in my Nigeria these days. Even university degrees anyway. I'm just forget about the cultural or traditional titles. That one is, you know, so even armed robbers or murderers get those titles these days, and that's something that you could never get in those days, in the good old days. No matter how much money you pay, today is once you pay, you carry, cash and carry, in other words. Okay, I'm going to tell you something about me personally and those bogus titles that they acquire in my Nigeria. All right, there are some of them that I will never, you won't catch me dead saying them. For instance, calling our governor Your Excellency, or His Excellency if I'm talking to somebody else, or calling our lawmakers, the senators, they go by distinguished senator, so. Or the ones in the House of Reps, they go by honorable member of the House of Representatives. Guess what? There are just very few of them that I can give those titles. Why? Because most of them are crooks. They don't deserve those titles. That's my point. Okay? That's the thing I'm talking about. They do not deserve those titles because they are okay, all right. The senators, I can call them. If I want to call a senator, especially the ones that I know that are criminals, are crooks, I'll call you distinguished, all right, but you are distinguished in criminality or in lawlessness or distinguished in horrible leadership. No, horrible rulership. So they are not distinguished in any positive way to me. So I don't put that title there for them. Most of them, because there are a few ones, there are a few good ones. As for the honorable, so-called honorable, no sir, I call them dishonorable because again they are crooks. 90% of them maybe in our National Assembly they are crooks. So I don't use those names. Okay, now let's get to the topic of the day, the phrase of the day, and that's Your Excellency versus His Excellency. What do I mean? Remember, most times when I vlog, it's usually because somebody made that error, and immediately I remember, yeah, this needs to be said to my fans, right? I was watching TV this time, and somebody said that they did wrong. Actually, it's a TV host, actually. So that tells you how far or how wide some of these errors are. Even the most educated, it happens, okay? So he was talking to a ruler. In this case, it was Your Royal Highness, because it's all about the titles, either Your Excellency or His Excellency or Your Royal Highness in terms of traditional rulers. So he was talking about to a traditional ruler, and he said directly to the traditional ruler, His Royal Highness, how are you? Immediately it struck me. I said, you see, this is one of those guys that make the error. Okay, and he's a TV presenter, by the way, right? Because he was supposed to say, Your Royal Highness, how are you? Okay, when you are talking to somebody, one of those people who has that title, His Excellency, okay, or His Royal Highness, when you're talking directly to the person, you are supposed to say, let's say you want to say good morning, you're supposed to say, good morning, Your Excellency. You don't say, good morning, His Excellency. No sir, no ma'am, that's wrong. It's good morning, Your Excellency. You are talking directly to him. But when you are talking to a third person about that His Excellency, then you say, oh, let's say the person you're talking to is John. And you say, hey, John, I was talking to His Excellency today, the governor of the state. I was talking to him today. You should not say to John, I was talking to Your Excellency today. No, that's wrong. Okay? I hope you learned something if you didn't know it. Of course, a lot of people know this also, but I happen to know that a lot of people don't know some of these things. Okay? And until we meet again on my series, Commonly Misused Words, Phrases, Tenses, Terms, Idioms, or Idiomatic Expressions. It's bye for now from Harry Adena. Thanks for watching.